Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. Alright, we have a really fun episode. We're going to be reviewing Venom 13. Um, and this one's, so it's kind of been back and forth Ram V and Ewing. This one's by Ewing. And it's also the first of the Dark Web tie ins. Alright, guys, now before we get dived into that, I do want to let you guys know about the 600 subscriber giveaway. When we hit 600 subscribers, we'll be giving this book away. It's a Marvel #1. All you have to do is like the video, comment down below, and be subscribed to the channel. And when we hit 600 subscribers, we'll be giving the book away. All right, guys, let's get dived into Venom 13. I do want to let you know we're going to be going heavy into spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled for Venom 13, that's your warning. Next, we always shout out the creative team because without the creative team, we wouldn't have a comic book, right, guys? So on Venom 13, we have Al Ewing as the writer, Brian Hitch is doing the pencils, Andrew Curry is doing the inks, Alex Sinclair on colors, and BC's Clayton Cowles is doing the letters. There's a foreword that reads, "Years ago, Eddie Brock was a reporter whose career was ruined, and he contemplated ending his own life. But he found a kindred spirit, an extraterrestrial parasitic alien called a symbiote. The creature bonded to him, and the two were joined. Together they are Venom. Devil's Night. Recently, after trying to expand his abilities, Eddie Brock's mind became dislodged from his body and he awoke within a symbiotic form in the Garden of Time, a blossoming paradise at the end of time itself. The garden is what's left of the physical bodies of the galaxy's symbiotes and is inhabited by those kings in black who reigned after Eddie, led by the enigmatic Meridius, excuse me. But the garden is not the haven it appears to be. Desperate to return home to reunite with his son Dylan, Eddie has struggled to re enter the time stream, only to find himself held back by forces beyond his understanding. But now that force stands revealed as Meridius himself, and more than that, the truth about Meridius and all of the Kings in Black has also come to light. They are all Eddie Brock. Midnight in the Garden of Time. Though who knows if that's even the real sky. Maybe it's made of Clintar goo like everything else here. Every rock, every tree, every flower, the corpse of a symbiote. I'm certain of that now. Meridius killed every symbiote left to build a cage for me the size of a world. Which means I killed them. Will kill them. Because every king in black trapped in this garden, including Meridius himself, is me, from a future I can't change or escape. Learning that right after watching my son get stabbed in the heart by my future self, it broke something inside me. Now I'm as hollowed out as anything else in this plastic paradise, more dead than alive, and waiting for the man." Super cool front panel there of him in this Garden of Time. And who comes along, but it's kind of the laughable jokester version of him, which is named Wild. And so Wild says, "Could be worse, right?" And at least it's not raining. "So I guess I should apologize." And Eddie says, you guess," as he punches him. And Wild says, "Go on, get it out of your system. It made sense at the time, okay? And maybe that's in my past, but you've got it in your future. You talk like you're so upset, but you're gonna do it anyway, you sick piece of," as he kind of get riles Eddie up, and we see Eddie sort of almost partially turn into Bedlam, and then he gets control of himself. He goes, "No, no, I'm not." And he thinks, "I am not Bedlam yet. Not yet. Stay in control, Psycho. Don't lose it. Whatever he says, this is not about you. It's about Dylan." And the Wild tells Eddie that Dylan's still alive and that he hasn't killed him. and he thinks he did it to make him stronger, but he can't be sure, because he was still Bedlam at this point, and this is the form that Eddie takes after he becomes Bedlam. When he's kind of he's still trying to laugh at life, right? Is sort of the idea. And so he actually said he accidentally drops the fact that there's a way out of here, and Eddie's like, "Wait, there's a way out of here?" And Wild's like, "Wow, so what if there is? You're trapped by events, Eddie, not by a place. All of us, we're only here because we're here, not because, Eddie. I'm telling you as your future self. Just drop this." And Eddie asks, tell me how to get out, or so help me." And Wild says, "So help you? Look at you, you're beyond help. You know what? You want to know so badly. Here it is. You're the king in black, dummy. You can send your mind anywhere as long as there's Clintar on the other end, even a scrap." Eddie says, "No, Meridius locked that off. I can't access it." Wild says, "It's like talking to a video game. You put up a waist-high fence and you can't imagine jumping over it. You can send your mind in any direction in space, moron. Why are you only going forward and backward in time? Yeah, now try not to think of that elephant." As Eddie disappears, and Wild says, "There he goes. Should have kept my stupid mouth shut. Only I couldn't, could I? This was always going to be how it went. Maybe there is no funny side. Maybe there's only the winning side." As we see, he's transformed from Wild into the next stage, which is the stage of just groveling behind Meridius before you actually become Meridius. If that makes sense. It makes sense to me. I've been reading this whole story. It's like the stages of Eddie's demise through this in this mind space. Well, so he ends up in a bottle held by some guys here that we see that have horns and look like you know, look like goats or something. Giant goats. He's really tiny. He ends up breaking out of the bottle, um, killing one of the guys, and then the other guy, he gets him to make him 8.5 feet tall, and then he complains he's not 9 feet tall, and then realizes that the guy's just a poor lowly servant guy and feels bad for him, so he ends up giving him some of the symbiote goo, because that's, they originally had symbiote goo in their little vial, and so he gives him some goo and leaves it behind. Then when he gets out, he finds out he's in limbo, and he goes, "I'm in limbo, a dimension where you can die in one future and still be alive in another, a dimension where time forks and crosses over with itself. With all the commotion, I hadn't noticed, but I can't feel the pull of the garden anymore. I'm free, and from here, maybe I can get back to Dylan. I should thank Wild. If he hadn't clued me in, I'd never have tried this stunt. So why would he act like telling me was dangerous?" As we see, he ends up getting into a fight with some of the locals, kind of these green goblin looking creatures. He ends up defeating the two main bad guys, and we see during the fight that there's um, a queen or someone that they're carrying in this, one of those kind of setups where two big dudes have a big queen's chair in a room behind them. See if I can see where the panel is. Yeah, they don't give a great panel of it, but you get the picture of it. This is the best panel. It's kind of sad on the ground, and so they're real wary about not showing you who's in there. Her leg, they just show you like her leg, and they're like, so he comes up and he goes after he defeats her henchmen and everything, right? And her carriage is sat on the ground, and he says, "What about it, Madame Chairwoman?" Sounds like you're in charge of these goons. Still want a piece of me? And she says, quite possibly. At the very least, I need someone to carry the palanquin. And I always did have a thing for a man in black. And he says, your lucky day. I'm the king in black. Too bad I can't stick around. My son needs me. He's on his own back on Earth. And she says, not just a fellow monarch, a fellow single parent. I really should get to know you better. As she steps out and she says, Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen of Limbo. As I said, I think you might have something in common with a friend of mine, and I think we can all help each other. To be continued in Dark Web Alpha. As we see none other than the other Goblin Queen, Madeline Pryor. As if you guys saw the Amazing Spider-Man review yesterday. All right, guys. So yeah, everything's kind of tying in together, right? Super exciting. Yeah, I the reveals on a bunch of this. Obviously, they're definitely still setting up for. In fact, it's kind of a little. I feel like they made it make more sense now. Now we're sort of fearing at what point Eddie loses control and becomes Bedlam, and then he goes through the rest of the stages to become Meridius, right? And can he stop this future? Is there a way to change the course that he's on and live a different destiny, one where he doesn't end up stabbing and hurting his son, or does he have to go through this progression in order to finally transcend and become the King in Black in full? That's all still up to Ewing and Ram V, right? But yeah, this first start of the Spinning the Dark Web, it's kind of interesting because the issue wasn't really actually about Dark Web. It was at the very end we got that reveal of Venom Eddie Brock meeting up with Madeline Pryor, and she's like, hey, there's this thing going on, and we need your help. But there wasn't, it was kind of at the end there. I don't know. They're calling it a Dark Web tie-in, but it's really just kind of like wrapping up what Ewing and Ram V were doing for these first 12 issues, at least for the time being. Like I said, I don't think this storyline is going away with Meridius and Bedlam and all that. I think they're just probably going to put it on pause for a little while. Maybe go back to some go do some. I would be down too if they did some other stories for a little bit and then came back to this in like somewhere in the 30s. That'd be good, kind of build up to it. Anyways, that's what I have right now. I'm enjoying this run of Venom. So yeah, Venom 13 gets a thumbs up. All right, guys, that's what I have today. Remember, if you do like this kind of content, like, comment, and subscribe. Helps the YouTube algorithm. And we're giving away a book when we hit 600 subscribers based on comments on the road to 600. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow, and have a great day.